When it comes to database, there are two types of, I'm just giving you some heads up for today's session. When it comes to database, there are two types of databases. Databases, what is database again? Like it is to store your data in a structured way or in a proper way with some additional help of the software instead of keeping simply on in a GCS bucket or in a file system. Instead of that, you are keeping little more structured manner so that you can read and write properly. That is the idea of database. And there are two types of database, relational and non-relational databases. I just forget about this one, Cloud SQL. We're just generally understand two types of databases. In relational database, the data you store will be in the form of tables, and there will be some relation between the data you store in the tables. For example, employee database, student database, all these are examples of a product database in an e-commerce website. All these are examples of relational database. If you look at this two rows, that is student ID, student name, all these are relational. There is a relation between all these. And again, if you go to next row, that is the idea of relational database. SQL is one of the open source and one of the very popular relational database. SQL, okay. And you might have learned in college, like it's all part of the syllabus, right? So SQL, it is a very basic open source relational database. And if you want to create a SQL traditionally, like without cloud, if you look at how do you do that, you should have an OS hardware. Obviously, it is required. You should have an operating system. On top of that, SQL software you need to install. Okay, SQL software you need to install. On top of that, you will be having more than one or more databases. You can host it. Okay, so this is the way, like traditionally you host a database. Operating system will be there, SQL software will be installed. On top of that, your tables that will be created. Okay, and in cloud, in Google Cloud, you don't really need to worry about it. It's a managed service. Managed service, what is managed service? We already know. It is about some area will be managed by Google Cloud, and only few areas you need to manage some sessions. So here, this part, OS and SQL, these are managed service. Till this area, it's managed service. You just need to focus on the database creation and management of databases. Okay, so this part, while creation and all, you need to select something. Apart from that, you have no idea which operating system your database is getting hosted, and installation of SQL, configuration of SQL, all these things you don't need to worry about. One more thing in our today's topic about databases, we are not actually not learning about databases. Okay, that is DB admin's job. We are learning how the database offerings in Google Cloud in this perspective, like in this, like in a managed service perspective, because SQL database querying and all, it's a totally separate topic. Okay, and here we are learning how the what are the database offerings and how it is different, what kind of database, which service. In an architect perspective, we are learning anyway. Database, like whether you know or not, that is secondary. All right, still you should know what are the database offerings and difference between each offerings, which one to choose. Like being an architect, you need to suggest which database to go with. All right, so this part, okay, this part is a managed service, OS and installation of SQL, that is a managed service.